Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour. This is the show where we talk about everything from Superman and Spider-Man to the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and everything in between. I'm your host, Aiden. Today we are going to be doing a review of issue 2 of the massive DC Comics event from 1985, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Last week, at the time of recording, I did issue number 1. Now this week we're doing issue number 2. So, to recap what happened in the last issue, we saw this new character named Pariah as he watched in horror and could not act as many different Earths, parallel Earths, were being destroyed by this antimatter wave, and it is making its way across the multiverse, destroying many different Earths. Some of them we have seen before, others we have not. And then we see this character named the Monitor and his adopted daughter Harbinger gathering various different superheroes and supervillains from across the multiverse to help stop the antimatter wave and save the multiverse. Now we are going into issue number 2. So issue number 2 was published the following month, and let's see where it goes. Crisis on Infinite Earths, issue number 2, begins way back in the Stone Age when we see this caveman hunting woolly mammoths, and he stumbles upon this city, which is Metropolis in the 30th century, so in the very, very distant future from him. And we see the mammoths go and end up in Metropolis, and the Legion of Superheroes have to divert them away from the city. Then we go to Gotham City on Earth 1 in the present, and we see Batman chasing the Joker, as he usually does. And we see this fun little back and forth between the two. It's classic Batman and Joker, where Joker has this elaborate scheme, and Batman stops him. However, they are interrupted by the Flash. Now, in an earlier issue, the Flash had disappeared. And so Batman is like, what's going on here? And Joker's like, hey, you can't, interrupt me when I'm fighting Batman. So he tries to shoot him, but, he misses. Then Batman breaks out of the death trap, beats Joker, and then he sees Flash disintegrate in front of him. And he's like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on here? He doesn't say fuck, but, that's me exaggerating. And, he's like, well, that was weird. Then we go back to the Monitor's satellite, and we see the heroes that he and Harbinger had gathered, and the villains. And they don't believe the Monitor because, he's not showing them any evidence of this antimatter wave sweeping across the multiverse, destroying all of these different universes. And so the guy Simon wants to attack him, and Dr. Polaris also wants to attack, but Superman's like, no. And then we go back to Earth 1, and Superman of Earth 1 meets Batman on the roof of the Daily Planet, and Batman's telling Superman what happened, and he's like, geez, that sounds really weird, let's go investigate. And I love it because Superman and Batman have been friends since 1940, and they're called the world's finest team, and that's true, and especially on Earth 1 back in the day. But Superman and Batman have this fun interaction. Then Pariah shows up, and he's like, please, he's like, oh, thank God, Superman and Batman, please, you gotta help. The universe is in trouble. And Superman and Batman look at each other, and they're like, who's this guy? And then he fades away, and they're like, oh, the universe is in trouble. We better figure out what's going on and save it, because that's what they do. They always gotta jump in and save the day, because they're Superman and Batman. But then, let me show you some of the artwork here. In this issue. Oh, also, the Guardians of the Universe who are the founders and leaders of the Green Lantern Corps. They live on a planet named Oa, and they are just demolished, and we don't see who does it, but I have a good idea who it might be. But here we have the world's finest and the Green Lantern, and we got Pariah. Let me go back and show you Batman versus Joker, because that was a good scene. Here they all are on the Monitor's satellite. Here we got some cool Batman versus Joker stuff. And then Flash shows up. Yeah, Batman says, "Dear God, what is happening?" And then we get to the title screen. And, yeah, again, the art in this is fantastic. George Perez does a phenomenal job. Dick Giordano and Jerry Ordway did the inks and colorings. They are legends in their own right as artists. They do a phenomenal job with this. And this edition of it is, quote, painstakingly restored and meticulously recolored. Crisis on Infinite Earths is at last available as a handsome and affordable softcover edition. And by affordable, they mean $40 plus tax. But, you know, usually you get bigger stories for a little less or around the same price, but, you know, it was worth it. This is a good story, and the art is, oh my goodness, the art is phenomenal. I already said that, but Marv Wolfman crafts an incredible, captivating, interesting, unique story, and I really enjoy it. So then we go to the far future with Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, who is a character created by Jack Kirby when he went to DC in the late 60s after quitting Marvel. Excuse me, allergies. But, so Superman, Solivar, Dawnstar, they all go and help Kamandi, who is being attacked by the shadow demons who attacked them in the last issue. And we got this giant Kirby-looking mega structure in front of the Statue of Liberty that is weird but interesting looking. And, you know, they got to protect it. And it turns out that Harbinger is now betraying the Monitor for his nemesis, the Anti-Monitor. And, yeah, so that, and it's weird because she does it so cavalierly. You know, this is your adopted father and you so easily betray him, like, what the fuck? But, yeah, then some of the other team goes to Atlantis on Earth 1 to, deal with that mega structure. And Psycho Pirate, one of the villains on the team, he is like, his power is he feeds on emotions and he can make you feel a certain way. So he's like, ooh, I gotta feed on their emotions in Atlantis. You know, he cannot resist the temptation. And Arian, the wizard guy, he's from Atlantis. He, as I said in the last issue, he's like, hey, if you feed on my people, I'm going to kick your ass, man. And then Pariah shows up, and he talks to Psycho Pirate for a minute. Then Psycho Pirate tries to drive him mad. Then Pariah disappears. Then Psycho Pirate is captured by the Anti-Monitor. We don't see his face or get his name, but that's who it is. And yeah, but we have a cool little fight between Obsidian, Arian, and Psycho Pirate before that happens. And then the Monitor and Lila are talking about maybe getting Raven from the Teen Titans to join the team, but they can't find her, so now they are going to turn this woman into the new Dr. Light. Now, Dr. Light is a villain, but in this they created a new Dr. Light who's a hero. And she's a Japanese woman whose name I forget, but you know, she's a cool character. I have only seen her in the Justice League cartoon back in the day, but you know, I'm sure she's in a bunch of comics, and she's a cool character. Looking and look-wise and character-wise from what I've seen, she's alright. But then we see Lila talking to the Anti-Monitor. He's explaining how he is going to destroy everything to replace it with his own universe, sort of like starting over, and that's his plan for throughout the book. And then we get the cover of issue number 3, and here's Lila's face in the stars. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, issue number 2, it ramped up the stakes. It showed us cool character interactions. The art, as I said, was phenomenal. We see characters who do not normally interact with each other, old friends and enemies reuniting, and it's a fun story, and I can't wait to read issue number 3 and show you what happens there. So if you enjoyed this video, then please click the like button. If you did not, hit the dislike button. If you're new and want to check out more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I talk about comic books, The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, video games, all sorts of nerdy things. And you can check the links to all of my social media, including my podcast and my Patreon page. You can go there and support me for as little as $3 each month. You can get a plethora of wonderful benefits, like a long sleeve shirt or a t-shirt with my channel's logo on it, or a coffee mug, or a tea mug, whichever you prefer. Chai is my favorite type of tea, but yeah, so you can also vote on polls on what I talk about next, or just general polls about characters or topics. You can also send me a message. You can get early access to videos and episodes of my podcast, and you can get access to my original writing projects. And yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching. I had a fun time making it, and I hope you had a good time watching it. I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to edit this out. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Are Superman's tears indestructible too? So when they hit the ground, would they just make a hole? Or would they just do what normal tears do? That's an interesting question.